Hey there, in today's video I'm going to give my first run impressions of the Nike Zoom Fly 6. I'm making this video because I have a lot of carbon plated running shoes. I usually try to run one marathon and then I downstream them for training, tempo, fartlek days, sometimes easy days. Most people don't use carbon plate shoes that way as a racing shoe stepped down to training. It's an expensive way of training, and the Nike Zoom Fly 6 takes the opposite approach. It's mainly a training shoe with a step up to racing. Now, according to Nike, this is the Zoom Fly 6's USP. Train fast to race faster, they say. And in this video, I'm going to see if that proposition, does it fly? And this video is an initial review. I'll do some more testing of the shoes in comparison to other Nike Fly Plate shoes, but as always, this video might be long. There are chapter markers down below, so you can skip on through to the bits you might be interested in. Let's get going. I've been running in the shoe for about a week. I did 30 minutes easy with some 10-second sprints. My stride foot pod was continually telling me to slow down through my watch, always a good sign. Then there was, I did 55-minute super threshold intervals on the track, 55-minute power, tempo alternating with an Alpha Fly 3, and then I did a 23-kilometer easy run yesterday. So about a marathon's worth of distance in these shoes, different days, different paces, different surfaces. Before we review the shoes, let's put them on the turntable and look at their specifications. Nike say that the Zoom Fly 6 weighs 265 grams, 9.35 ounces in a UK men's size 9. This shoe is a US men's 13, EU 47.5, UK 12, BR 46, CN 310, in brackets 2.5. In this size, in the left shoe, it weighs 312 grams, 11.01 ounces, and in the right shoe, 314 grams, 11.08 ounces. The Zoom Fly 6 has a 42mm stack height and an 8mm drop. Nike say this about the Zoom Fly 6. The sixth iteration of the model features the highest stack height in the Nike racing lineup, courtesy of a redesigned midsole that supports a full-length carbon fiber fly plate between layers of Nike's proprietary ZoomX and SR02 foams. The fly plate maximizes runners' efforts by supercharging their propulsion, offering smooth transitions and delivering flexibility for daily training runs. Meanwhile, the addition of more ZoomX foam, Nike's lightest and most resilient midsole compound, produces optimal energy return in every step. Let's review the shoe and see if what Nike says is true. The upper is most like the Nike Pegasus Plus in profile. It's not like the Streak Fly, the Vaporfly 3, or indeed the Alpha Fly 3, and it looks more durable. That's kind of the theme of this shoe. It's more durable. There's a very structured heel that's high. It's nicely padded at the sides. We'll stick a light in and we'll have a look. So turn the light on here and stick it in, and then also camera inside the shoe. But you can kind of see it's like there is a lot of small ventilated holes. Now, strangely enough, on the men's versions, Nike say in various colorways there's a synthetic leather. If there is, I can't see it. The toe box isn't as roomy as I would like, but it's okay. The laces are straightforward. They're not like those on the Alpha Fly with the ridges. The same are true of the Vaporfly 3s, but these are more like the Streak Fly shoes. They're flat, uninteresting, but a little bit thicker. There's quite a nice tongue with some padding. There's no pass through of the tongue. That doesn't bother me, but there is a nice soft edge, and it is a comfortable shoe to put on. The midsole is made up of ZoomX and an SR2 foam with a full-length carbon plate between it as a sandwich. Nike don't mention the SR02 very much when looking at details on their website, but it is in their PR release. You can kind of see the ZoomX on the top with its veining, and I suspect that the SR02 is much more durable, and hence it's down the bottom towards the outsole. The outsole has more ridges than, say, on the Alpha Fly 3, which has more in the front, but the sort of lugs a little bit deeper and more of them. It's a common theme with much of this shoe. There's more durability built in, there's more weight, there's more foam. The Zoom Fly 6 in this size weighs 312 grams, 11.01 ounces. The Alpha Fly 3 is 266 grams, 9.38 ounces. And the Vaporfly 3 is 242 grams, 8.54 ounces. And it's about 30% lighter than the Zoom Fly 6. Nike say that at 42 millimeters, the Zoom Fly 6 has the highest stack in their racing lineup, which includes the Alpha Fly 3, the Vaporfly 3, and the Streak Fly. I like the design of the shoe. I like the aesthetic part of it. The upper looks a little bit like the Streak Fly in terms of design and materials. The base, particularly at the back, looks like the Alpha Fly 3. The midsole, particularly here with this little cutout, looks like the Vaporfly 3. You don't see it so much in this particular colorway. You see it in the other colorways. And in terms of colorways, this is the Kipchoge edition. It's about $10 more than all the other ones. It's white, pale ivory, sail and black. Then there's a pale ivory, crimson tint, sail and black, and a black, light smoke, gray and white. And those last two are also available in women's. There are two unique colors in the women's at the moment: Glacier Blue, Cobalt Bliss, Hyper Crimson and Black, and then white, Vivid Grape, Hyper Pink and Black. And there will be loads. Oddly enough, in terms of words, Nike compound Alpha Fly, Vaporfly, Streak Fly, Ultrafly and Dragonfly, but for some reason they use two separate words for the Zoom Fly. I do like the design of the shoe. I prefer the ones where they've picked out the little triangle as they do in the Vaporfly. I actually prefer that. But at the time I tried to get it, they didn't have any. But yeah, and when they don't pick it out, the shoe appears longer, particularly in these UK 12s. Nike don't make any great claims for sustainability of the shoe. They do talk that with this edition, the Eliud Kipchoge edition, when you go to Eliud's base camp, everyone plants a tree, and they talk about that. But they talk about all sorts of colors of trees and clay and all that sort of stuff. In reality, the shoes cost $10 more. I'm not sure Eliud gets any of that. Kind of nice if Nike just went and planted the tree for the extra $10. In terms of onboarding, the shoe is super easy to get on with a nice wide opening like the Streak Fly. But unlike the Streak Fly, which has a sort of stringed edge, it's much harder to get the shoe to fit exactly right. It's very easy to get on, but to get it tensioned to exactly right took me longer than on most shoes. In terms of the running feel, well, I immediately liked them. They felt Zoom-exy, something I particularly like. They have that compliance, but they also have an energy rebound feel. There is a high stack, and that can have difficulties, particularly going around tight corners and all that kind of thing. But yeah, the shoe really felt like it wanted to go. The grip and traction are okay. I mean, there's a similar lug pattern to the Nike Invincibles. There's small lugs, nothing in the middle. They're fine for dry road running. It was slightly wet. Well, it's been very wet this particular week. And I ran in them in damp a lot, and I felt the traction slipping more than I would expect in other shoes. They'll probably rubber in after a while, but yeah, they're high stack shoes, so like all those, you have to be careful running in them with grip and traction. These shoes are new. It's hard to predict the wear and tear, but the upper is more substantial than my other carbon plate shoes. Now for me, the upper never wears out. I've not got an upper that has really bothered me particularly. It's the outsole really wears down at the back and then into the midsole. These are my Alpha Fly 3s, and these have 200 kilometers in them, and they're really worn down here anymore, and they'll wear a bit through. But the overall thicker, more durable materials, I'd expect these to last significantly longer, but yeah, time will tell. The shoe is, in my opinion, relatively inexpensive. It's €169.99, euro, 170 US dollars, 154 pounds 99 sterling, and 260 Australian dollars. And this colorway is an extra $10. Now, by way of comparison, the Pegasus Plus is the same price in Australia as these shoes, but costs 10 US dollars, 10 UK pounds, and 10 euro more. So that's why, yeah, I think these are relatively good value, and particularly when you compare them to the price of a Alpha Fly 3, which is north of 300 euro, $300. I bought these online from Nike. Now, I'm a member, it's free to join of Nike members, and you used to be able to send shoes back free. Then they said you couldn't, but they've recently changed that, and it's Nike. They said the purchase made between 1st of November 2024 and 31st of December 2024 till the end of the year have an extended 60-day returns policy. I hope Nike do that with all their shoes, but yeah, for the moment, at least with these, there's a good returns policy. Nike say the use case is training and racing, and I would say that's pretty accurate. I walked a lot in the shoes up and down to the track in various places, and they're not great as walking shoes, but yeah, racing and training. In terms of comparisons, I did a Nike Zoom X comparison recently with a lot of their different shoes and the Pegasus Plus, which I didn't really enjoy and sent back. I didn't feel it had got any pep. This certainly has pep. As soon as I put this shoe on, it felt like it wanted to go, and it will be interesting to compare the performance of the shoe with that of the Vaporfly 3 and the Alphafly 3, which I'll be doing in coming weeks. Should you buy the Nike Zoom Fly 6? Well, it is really interesting to compare it with the Alphafly 3 and the Vaporfly 3. I mean, the proposition is training and racing. Now, it's significantly less cost, about 50% of what the Alphafly 3 is. I'd expect more durability. That's, I suppose, a given. The question is, what's the trade-off in performance? And at the moment, initially, there didn't seem to be a huge trade-off. There was surprising pace in these shoes, but yeah, more testing next couple of weeks. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, it would be great if you hit the like button. As always, there'll be lots of stuff in the description below, and I'll happily answer any questions you put into the comments. There'll be a big blue subscribe button popping up there, and some related videos there. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, just keep Zoom flying along.